one thing I'm going to let you know about me, K-Frog, is I don't really go through life, dwelling on regrets. But people want to know if I have any regrets from when I was inside of prison. So, of course, I'm going to give you that real spill, and I'm going to break it down for y'all. And I'm going to let you know what be going through Frog's mind when I actually sit back and I think about it. So let's do it.
Same time of the week, better be there. Have my people send a message, make sure that it's there. Time for me to collect, bring the shit over here, cause you can tell in my face, don't make me come over there. I run up in your room, put my shank in your neck, swear to God I wet you up, better show me respect. I'm hitting licks like nut, break bread with dogs. Putting on for Eastside, David, this K-Fraud, it's a robbery. Heard what I said, I got some names I won't say. Most of them dead, for that tunch you get as a price on your head. Take the shit out your locker, throw it all on my bed. You got a daughter back you up, on care what you click. 2 lockers to fit both y'all shit. See me in the cut jamming, smoking the rip, getting tatted with the money that your people are sent. See on the streets I would've bust you, but in prison I come cut you.
What's up, y'all? You already know, man. K-Frog TV back in the building. Y'all go ahead and do me that solid favor, man. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe button. And also make sure you hit the notification bell so you can see it first. Welcome back, y'all. Today I'm going to be talking about, do I have any regrets from when I was inside of prison? Now, one thing I will let you know is, life's too short. And it's too short to be dwelling on things in the past. You know what I'm saying? As far as regrets. You understand? Me, I take everything with a grain of salt. And at the end of the day, what don't kill you makes you stronger. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to break it down and I'm going to let you know there is actually a couple things when I sit back and I think about it that I do regret while I was inside of prison. Now, I'll tell you, probably 10 out of 10 people will tell you they regret going to prison. You know what I'm saying? And the reason for that is because, I regret losing time, that I could have spent with my loved ones that were still here at the time. I regret losing time that I could have, spent with my kids as they were growing up. And just regret on how much money I missed out on making throughout them years of me sitting in there. But this video is not about do I regret going to prison. It's about the regrets of inside of prison. All right. Now, like I said, I don't really dwell in the past. And as far as living life and regrets, I don't really go by that, because going to prison and regretting it is two different things. I appreciate the experiment, the experience that I actually got to see what it was firsthand. It kind of helped me a lot of ways in life, believe it or not. Opened my eyes to how the world truly is behind doors. And I learned a lot of things while I was behind them gates. Now, when it comes to regrets that I've had while in prison, like things that I regretted that happened or I did inside of prison, sat back and thought about it, and I actually came up with a list of a couple things that I do regret. All right. Now, I'm no angel. You know what I'm saying? I come on here, I drop these videos because I want people to know what it's truly like inside of prison. When I was in prison, I was far from an angel and I was on demon time. You know what I'm saying? So I regret certain things that I did to certain individuals in there. I hurt people, took it to, an extreme, to a farther extent that it probably didn't even have to go to. We call it jumping the gun. I was one of them inmates that would always jump the gun. I would think it's going to go there, so I'd take it there. And a lot of times, it could have just probably been, situated with a conversation, a quick little sit down, a little misunderstanding, quick little agreement of a disagreement, But at the end of the day, it didn't go like that. I regret certain things I'd done to certain people, that, I harmed along my bid. You get what I'm saying? Another thing that I regret is how long I spent in there when I could have came home earlier. The trouble I kept getting into, getting my date pushed back, getting put in confinement. They'd always snatch my game time. I'd stay out of trouble for a while and get them good days knocked off each month. And then next thing you know, I'd get into trouble and they'd just snatch it all, push my date all the way back again. You see what I'm saying? All because I was a knucklehead and didn't want to stop, getting into shit. I regret that. I could have been home earlier, spent more time with my mom before she passed away. You know what I'm saying? But you don't think about that while you're in there. You get what I'm saying? You live to survive. And in prison, survival is the key, So at the end of the day, when I think about it, those are a couple things that, I regret while I was in there, Another thing that I do regret is some people that, I put trust in. You get what I'm saying? Whether it's someone that you make a friend, a homeboy, you call your dog or whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? You learn at the end of the day, You know, you can't be trusting people, but some people are real good at hiding it and faking and hiding behind that disguise the whole time to where you're blind to it. You know what I'm saying? And you're in a place to where you're outnumbered. So at the end of the day, when it's like, I'm going through some shit, he seems like he's going through the same shit I'm going through, we might as well go through this shit together. You know what I'm saying? It kind of feels like y'all have a whole lot more in common when you're locked up. But in all reality, y'all don't have nothing in common but what is going on while you were locked up and what's surrounding you at that time. You see what I'm saying? So I'd say I regret, you know, friending a couple people I met along the way. You know, I regret, you know, crossing a couple people, you know, in there that probably would have been more, you know, better of being a friend than people that I actually, you know, friended. You know what I'm saying? You know how they say it, you know, keep your friends close, your enemies closer, the whole saying and everything, because at the end of the day, someone who was once your enemy, you know, they're going to show their loyalty to you way more than a friend of yours that's never been an enemy. And the reason for that is because that enemy has loyalty to prove to you. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, at the end of the day, a lot of people that I beefed with inside of prison, I never really gave them the chance, you know, to, you know, be part of the team. You feel me? Once it's up, it's up. So once the beef started, it's, and whoever's rocking with you, you know what I'm saying? And I kind of like, you know, regret not listening to the older dudes that had life sentences that would try to explain to me that, you know, prison ain't where it's at, you know, but you don't really take that, you know, in mind while you're in there, like I said, because of what's going on. You feel me? And at the end of the day, it's like, when you got somebody that's got a life sentence that don't even have a release date, you know what I'm saying, that's talking to you and telling you these things, and you know you have a release date right around the corner. Even if it's 5 years from now, it's still right around the corner compared to a life sentence. So you're not really taking their advice fully. You know, you're hearing it, but you ain't letting it sink in. You feel me? You're not grasping it. So a lot of times, they'll tell you this stuff and try to give you this game, and you don't really understand this is coming from someone who lost their life already. You feel me? You're looking at it like you go home soon, your life ain't lost. So what they saying is what they saying. And since all of them kind of like give you the same type of game, you don't really, you know, take it into consideration and like make it, you know, a priority to, you know, learn what they're trying to tell you. You see what I'm saying? So I regret, you know, not taking some of that into consideration. You feel me? I always had the ears to listen, but at the end of the day, I'm my own man, so I'm gonna make my own decisions, you know. And I've had a bunch of people in there, you know, at times when I was getting ready to pop off, you know, strike off a war, or, you know, take off on someone or go stab someone. You know, I've had people, you know, try to talk me out of it, you know, just like someone that you call your homeboy would do, you know. People that want to see you crash, those ain't really your friends. You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, when you got these people that are telling you, yeah, you know, crash them, cut them, do this, do that, they just want to see some shit. And they really not your dog, because if they was your dog, they would be trying to keep you out of harm's way. They want to see you get in trouble or set you up for failure. You feel me? So a lot of them dudes in there that got life sentences, and people that, you know, got long bids, 40 years, 60 years, 70 years, or elbow, which is a life sentence, when they would be trying to tell me, nah, don't do it, bro, don't do it. Don't do it, bro, just spare him, don't do it. My mind's already made up. And where did it land me? Every time when I didn't listen to them, in confinement. And when it landed me in confinement, got my date pushed back. Made it to where I didn't go home as soon as I could have went home. You see, so a lot of it, when I sit back and think about it, there are certain things I do regret. You know what I'm saying? I regret putting my trust in certain females when I was in prison, because I've had females call to prison, you know, tell them I had cell phones, get me put under investigations. I had females I was messing with that sent me, you know, Father's Day cards while I was in confinement behind they man's back, they baby daddy, and they baby daddy's on the streets. He called the prison and told them that I had a cell phone, was talking to his baby mama. They snatched me up, put me in confinement. You know, like I had all types of things happen to me while I was in prison. And it's kind of like when you're locked up, you know, all you want to do is, you know, you want to show the world that you ain't dead, that you ain't gone. So you want to try as much as you can to stay entwined with everything and talk to people and get a hold of people. And you never really know that, you know, word of mouth spreads. So them same people you trying so hard to get in contact with on the streets, or the same bitches you talking to, or just to make them laugh for a couple of minutes, you know what I'm saying, be the same ones that get your ass in trouble. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, as far as living in regret, from things I did in prison, that's impossible, because the lifestyle I live now is a better me, a better version of me. So I had to go through those type of things to get to where I am today. That's how I look at it. I might have been innocent when I went to prison, you know what I'm saying? But I got put there for a reason, you know, to keep me from catching some other charges or something, for keep me from probably catching a 3 times longer bid than I caught. You know, I got placed there for a reason. You see what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, got to take that with a grain of salt. You know, I know a lot of people look at it like, damn, well, you know, I regret going to trial. You know, I didn't want to be one of them people. Those are the type of people that you will live your life in regret. Regret going to trial. You could have took them 5 years, but instead you went to the door thinking that you might have had a chance, and knowing it would have took you at least 5 to 6 years just to come back on the appeal. By then you'd be going home. But instead you want to play with the police, you want to play with the system, go to trial when you know you ain't got a strong case. Bam, look at you now, 25 to life. You see? So I'm grateful, even though I went to prison and was innocent, got set up by people I thought was family, but at the end of the day, I don't regret nothing of it. You know what I'm saying? I had a good experience through it all. I seen the goods, the bads, the flaws, the dangerous, the violent, the crooked. You know, I seen all that while I was incarcerated. So these were great questions to ask me in my comment section if I regret things while I was inside of prison. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of feel like if I would have listened to them old heads, yeah, I would have came home sooner. But I wanted to learn my lesson yet, because I was a firecracker inside of prison. You know, I was still hot-headed, and it didn't stop the moment I walked out the gate, believe it or not. You know, I got into things as soon as I came home. You see what I'm saying? But me having that extra time from not listening, you know, made it to where I was in there longer, you know, and it made it to where even though I didn't listen to what them people with them life sentences and them old heads had to say at the time, right then and there, it kind of helped me on the streets, believe it or not. Their words carried farther with me after my bid than it did during my bid. You see what I'm saying? And you just find yourself in so many different situations while you were in there, you know, that you never know, you know, who's guiding you in the right direction, because the blind be following the blind. And that's how it is in the streets, you know what I'm saying? You beat your dogs, you and your dogs, yeah, they go hit a lick, you go hit a lick with them. They hit the lick, everything 50-50. Y'all do what y'all gotta do. Next thing you know, y'all get caught, and it's you against the world. Because one thing about it, they are not doing no buddy programs. You feel me? So even if you and bruh got caught, they ain't finna say, okay, well, this is a buddy program. Instead of giving you 20 years, we're gonna do 10 and 10, and y'all can do it together to 20. No. They're gonna say 20, 20, and skirt. Y'all are still doing that bid by your damn self. And there isn't no bunk beds inside of caskets, you know? So at the end of the day, you gotta live and learn, and you gotta realize you all you got. And that's one thing that I learned while I was in prison. So I actually learned more than I regret from going to prison, or regret inside of prison, okay? Now, of course, I could have been way farther in life if I didn't go to prison. You know, but I got state certified in environmental services, buffing floors. You know what I'm saying? I got to, you know, get some college credits due to that. You feel me? I got to, you know, do like an 8-week semester inside of medical, cleaning up, doing tests through OSHA, learning everything with the chemicals and everything. You know, so I kind of like got some good things out of prison, because before I went to prison, I didn't have none of this. You know, I didn't have shit. I didn't have, you know, my diploma. I didn't graduate school, went to prison, you know what I'm saying, GED, boom, you know, like, got to do what you got to do. You got to make it to where it sucks that you're in there and there's nothing you can really do, especially when your date ain't moving any faster. But what you can do, so you do not live in regret, is you can try to get as many trades, as many, you know, good things lined up, and have all your ducks in order, so by the time you get out, you got that shit how you need it. And that was my biggest thing. My biggest thing while I was in there, other than surviving, was making sure I had a plan before I got out. Because a lot of people don't. They go in there and they get sidetracked, and they just come out with no plan in the world, you know, and they set themselves up for failure to go back. That's why the statistic number is so high of reoffenders. You see what I'm saying? So you got to make it to where, you know, you're in there, what's done's done. You know what I'm saying? You came home, what's done's done. You know, leave that shit in the past. course, I got a prison channel. I break it down to y'all. Want y'all to know what it's truly like inside of prison. So I can't help but to live in the past. You know what I'm saying? I break it down the best I can for y'all. You feel me? But that's my gift. And I want to share it. You know what I'm saying? That's how it goes. But those are the only few things that I have that I could say I regret from inside of prison. Was the things I just told y'all. There's not that many. I don't have that many regrets when I sit there and think about it. You know, that was a tricky one to kind of answer, to be real with y'all. I had to literally take the time all last night and think about it. Like, you know, it wasn't like a direct regret, but it was like, you know, chess, not checkers. You feel me? 5 moves ahead. So it was kind of like, in order to be here, I had to do this, do this, do this, do this, but I couldn't because of this. And that was one of the regrets inside of prison. I wanted to do this, but I couldn't because I had to do this, this, this to get to that, but I couldn't because this was one of the regrets inside of prison. If I wanted to do this in prison, though, I could have got there. You see, so I had to sit there and orchestrate it the best way I could and word it for y'all the best way I can. You know what I'm saying? And y'all already know the comment section open. If y'all are somebody that went to prison, I'm pretty sure you gained something from it. You know, whether it was patience, you know, whether it was more of an understanding about life. You get what I'm saying? Because you learn life's short once them years go by. Once you go to having all them Christmas trays and all them Thanksgiving trays, and you see how it is on 4th of July, and you don't get to see no fireworks. You look out the window hoping to see fireworks, and you realize these are calendars that are just rolling by. By the time you get out, you're going to be like, damn, I just lost this many years. You know, it might not have felt like it at the time. It might have felt like forever, or it might have felt like it flew. But at the same time, you're not getting it back. You see? So, the way I look at it, I don't live no lives and regrets. I don't even regret that much going to prison, other than things that I missed out on the streets. But other than that, I learned a lot from it. And you can learn a lot from it. I don't recommend it. But at the same time, I'm just trying to break it down for y'all, give it to y'all the best way I can. You know what I'm saying? But that's all I got for y'all today, man. I hope the people that dropped the comments that I'm responding to, I hope y'all like my answers. I'm trying to break it down for y'all as real as I can, keeping the, you know, cursing to a minimum, trying to talk, you know, as good as I can for YouTube. And I hope y'all like the response. That's the only way I can say it. And if you're somebody that's been to prison before and you got a couple things you regret while you were locked up, drop it in the comments section. You know what I'm saying? And if you're somebody that don't have no regrets from when you was locked up, let people know how you feel and put that in the comment sections too. One thing I will tell y'all that I do also regret while I was inside of prison, and I'm glad I just thought about it before I wrap this one up, was my tattoos. And I'm going to tell you the reason for that. The reason for that is because in there it seems like a good idea, you know? It's cheap. You get what I'm saying? I've been recently getting tatted more on the streets. So I'm covering a lot of my chain gang work. Now, when you look at the price bracket, you know, you're looking at $750 a half a day session to up to $1,500 for a whole day session, compared to a case of soups, you know, which is like 26 bucks. You get a fucking sleeve done up the road, you know? And there you just want this. You want all the common stuff. Fill it with smoke, money signs. You know, you want this gangster writing. You want weed plants. You want machine guns. You want, you know what I'm saying? All the common shit that everybody who thinks they the gangsterist gets. You feel me? But then later on throughout the years, you realize you're like, damn, I gotta pay more now, you know, to try to reuse that area. Whether you get some real good dark soot put on you while you're in there and the ink's real dark and everything, you either gonna have to laser that shit off, or you're gonna have some whiteout sessions and pay for them sessions of them just running over it all with white. Let it heal 2-3 weeks, come back, it might have dropped it to where now it looks gray. They might be like, oh, still can't put nothing over it. Another whiteout session. Now it went to knockoff, you know, like an off-white. And then do it again. It might take you 3-4 weeks before you finally can use what you want to use. The area you want for the real good street work. You get what I'm saying? You get what you pay for. So in the chain gang, it looks cool. You know, you come home, it looks like it's glowing. It looks like it's awesome. And a lot of it do be real good work. You know, but you got to take into consideration, you know, you're not in the sun that often. You know, you might be in the sun somewhat, but when you come home, you got that glow to you because you're kind of pale. So it makes your tattoos stand out, makes you look more wet than you really are. You see what I'm saying? And at a young age, when you get locked up, tattoos is like mandatory, like a priority thing that a lot of people do locked up. I was one of them. Got my whole chest done, stuff on my stomach, both my arms, got all types of shit everywhere, you know. But at the end of the day, when I look at what it is now, streetwise, I can't help but to regret getting the tattoos. You see what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it's cheaper in there, but it costs more, takes more sessions now to cover it. You see? So at the end of the day, when you look at it, you're like, maybe I should have just waited. You feel me? And not gotten them when I was in there. But I know people get tattoos while they're locked up because they want, you know, it's a memory. You remember getting it. You remember why you got it. It's got meaning to it. You got it for a reason. You know, and when you're older, you think, oh, you'll be showing your kids or whoever when you lived that life once upon a time when you were locked up in this place in 2010 for 5 years doing this and this. You got this tattoo right here, and it's a memory. You know what I'm saying? But I do regret getting a lot of this stuff. You know, even though it still looks, you know, but it just looks like chain gang stuff. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that I remembered, that I jotted it down last night and was like, man, I got to make sure I remember to throw this in there, boy, because tattoos is a major key when you're locked up. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, that's all I got for y'all, man. Y'all drop in the comment sections. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all have any regrets from when you were locked up? Is there anything you regret that you did while you were in there? Anything you got into? If so, drop it in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. And at the end of the day, man, my last thing that I can tell y'all is don't be living your life in regrets. What don't kill you makes you stronger. And whatever you've done went through, don't dwell on it. You know what I'm saying? Because you're here. Just look at where you are right now. You feel me? No matter how many storms you've went through, how many problems, difficulties, and all that, somehow, somewhere, you managed to come out with your head above water. So you got to just remember that. Remember, when things feel like it's the most complicated and it's the worst and it can't get any worse, just think of all the things you've went through where you thought it was the worst then. You see what I'm saying? And just keep your chin up like a soldier and keep that shit going. You feel me? That's all I got, man. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Y'all let me know, man. Y'all already know, like I always say, make sure you keep them rats, squares, clowns, chomos, pedos, gunners, wannabe island boys, clout chasers out your circle. Until next time, this the one and only. I am my team, Frog.
I'm a criminal, I'm a cool nigga, but I got a limit though.
I'm a cool nigga, but I got a limit though, cause I'm a criminal, yeah, I'm a criminal.